Hello.
Michelle?
Hi, Mr. President.
I was laid off in July. My company had reorganized because of COVID. It's the first time I've been laid off in my life. On Facebook, I connect with others who are going through the same thing. I decided to write a letter to President Biden to tell him how I felt. He read it, and then he called me.
How are you, Michelle?
Well, I wrote to you because, I was laid off in July, and it's just been a tough time as far as trying to find work.
Working is part of who you are.
My dad used to say a job is about a lot more than a paycheck.
It's about your dignity. It's about your respect. It's about your place in the community. I've been saying a long time, the idea that we think we can keep businesses open and moving and thriving without dealing with this pandemic.
It's just a non-starter. We're putting together a plan that provides for emergency relief to people in desperate need now. Everything from mortgage payments to unemployment insurance to rental subsidies to food security for children.
It provides for some small and medium-sized businesses to be able to open.
We're so glad that you are. We're so glad that we have you focusing on that.
Well, I think we're going to get 100 million shots in the next 100 days in people's arms.
I finally got my parents an appointment. They're getting their vaccines today.
Oh, great. Great.
I admire your sense of responsibility and the desire to work.
What I related to you was when you talked about your father and how he had
Felt like he lost his dignity when he lost his job. And I think more than an income is that feeling needed and having a place to go.
So I can't tell you how appreciative I am that you called me.
Can my daughter say hello to you?
Of course. Mr. President, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So nice to speak to you.
You should be very, very proud of your mom.
That's why I called when I read the letter. I admire her determination, her commitment. It's pretty impressive.
And so are you.
Thank you.
Keep the faith.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your patience. We had a very good but long meeting with the... It's very clear our economy is still in trouble. Once-in-a-century virus has decimated our economy, and it's still wreaking havoc on our economy today. And so much of it is still about the virus. We're still in the teeth of this pandemic. In fact, January was the single deadliest month of the whole pandemic. So I'm going to act, and I'm going to act fast. I'd like to be doing it with the support of Republicans. I've met with Republicans. There's some really fine people who want to get something done, but they're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. I see enormous pain in this country. A lot of folks out of work, a lot of folks going hungry, staring at the ceiling tonight wondering, what am I going to do tomorrow? And I believe the American people are looking right now to their government for help, to do our job, to not let them down. There's simply nothing more important than us getting the resources we need to vaccinate the people in this country as soon, as quickly as possible. So job number one of the American Rescue Plan is vaccines. Vaccines. The second, the American Rescue Plan is going to keep the commitment of $2,000, $600 has already gone out, $1,400 checks to people who need it. This is money directly in people's pockets. They need it. We need to target that money. And here's what I won't do. I'm not cutting the size of the checks. They're going to be $1,400, period. That's what the American people were promised. It raises the minimum wage. It's big and it's bold, and it's a real answer to the crisis we're in. That's one more thing, and I want to say it very clearly on this, be very clear on this point. It's better economics. It not only addresses the immediate crisis we're in, it's better for the long-term economic health of our nation and our competitiveness. So, the way I see it, the biggest risk is not going too big if we go too small. We've been here before. When this nation hit the Great Recession that Barack and I inherited in 2009, I was asked to lead the effort on the Economic Recovery Act to get it passed. It was a big recovery package, roughly $800 billion. I did everything I could to get it passed, including getting 3 Republicans to change their votes and vote for it. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't quite big enough. It stemmed the crisis, but the recovery could have been faster and even bigger. Today, we need an answer that meets the challenge of this crisis, not one that falls short. What Republicans have proposed is either to do nothing or not enough. All of a sudden, many of them have rediscovered fiscal restraint and the concern for the deficits. But don't kid yourself. This approach will come with a cost. More pain for more people for longer than it has to be. So to me, this is what this moment comes down to. Are we going to pass a big enough package to vaccinate people, to get people back to work, to alleviate the suffering in this country this year? That's what I want to do. Or are we going to say to millions of Americans who are out of work, many of whom have been out of work for 6 months or longer, who've been scarred by this economic and public health crisis, don't worry, hang on, things are going to get better. We're going to go smaller, so it's just going to take us a lot longer, like until 2025. That's the Republican answer right now. I can't in good conscience do that. We do have the tools to reduce a lot of suffering in this country. We just have to choose to use them. So it's time to act. We can reduce suffering in this country. We can put people back to work. We can gain control of this virus. That's what the American Rescue Plan does. And that's what I'm determined to do. And that's what I hope we're going to be able to do in the near term. So may God bless you all. May God protect our troops. And I truly believe real help is on the way. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Mr. President, how could you better target who gets the $1,400 check?